Jonathan woke up at 5 a.m. out of habit, reached for his phone, then stopped. The screen showed 63 unread emails. His hand hovered over it for a moment before he set it back down. Not today. He got dressed in jeans and a sweater. A normal sweater, navy blue, soft. He looked at himself in the mirror and barely recognized the person looking back. He looked younger somehow, less tired. When he walked into the kitchen at 8:30, Emma was already awake, sitting at the counter in her pajamas, swinging her legs. "You're up early," he said. "I couldn't sleep. We're going to the craft store today." She said it like they were going to Disneyland. "That exciting, huh?" Maya said they have a whole aisle just for glitter. Jonathan thought about glitter in his penthouse and felt a mild sense of panic. Then he remembered Maya's words. "Museums are for looking, nobody wants to live in one." "Then we'll get glitter," he said. Emma's smile could have powered the whole building. Leo emerged at 9 exactly, right when the doorbell rang. He'd gotten dressed without being asked, jeans and a hoodie. That was new. Maya burst in like a small tornado, wearing a different ridiculous sweater, this one with a snowman that had googly eyes. She carried 2 travel mugs. "Coffee for the adult," she handed one to Jonathan. "Hot chocolate for me because I have the taste buds of a child. Everyone ready." "Where's your car?" Jonathan asked. "Car in New York, are you kidding? We're taking the subway." "The subway?" "Yes, the big train underground. Very convenient." "Emma, Leo, you ever been on the subway?" They both shook their heads. "What?" Maya looked at Jonathan. "You live in New York and your kids have never taken the subway." "We have a driver." "Of course you do." She shook her head. "Okay, new plan. Today's adventure includes public transportation. Come on, it'll be fun." "Fun isn't the word I'd use," Jonathan muttered, but he grabbed his coat anyway. The subway platform was crowded and loud and smelled like a mix of coffee and something Jonathan didn't want to identify. Emma held his hand tight. Leo tried to look bored but kept staring at everything. "This is gross," Leo said. "This is New York," Maya corrected. 8 million people all trying to get somewhere. It's beautiful chaos. The train arrived with a screech of brakes. They squeezed on. Jonathan kept the kids close, hyper-aware of every stranger, every jostle. Maya hung onto a pole, perfectly balanced as the train lurched forward. "See that guy?" She nodded toward a man with headphones, dancing slightly to music only he could hear. "He's having a great morning." "And that lady?" An older woman reading a paperback romance novel. "She's on chapter 23, and the hero just realized he's been in love the whole time." "How do you know that?" Emma asked. "I don't, but it's fun to imagine." That's the thing about the subway. Everyone's got a story, everyone's going somewhere. She looked at Jonathan. "You used to take the subway, didn't you, when you first moved here?" "Every day for 3 years, before the company took off." "Did you hate it?" He thought about it. "No, I kind of liked it actually. Made me feel like I was part of something. And now I have a driver. Drivers are nice, but they're lonely." She said it gently, without judgment. The train pulled into their stop. They climbed back into daylight at 34th Street, and the city hit them full force. Crowds and noise and hot dog vendors and someone playing saxophone on the corner. Emma's eyes were huge. "It's so loud." "It's perfect," Maya said. "Come on, craft store's 2 blocks this way." They walked past tourists taking photos, past street vendors selling scarves and knockoff bags, past a guy breakdancing for tips. Leo kept looking around like he'd discovered a new planet. "Dad," he said quietly, "that guy's spinning on his head." "I see that. That's so cool." Jonathan pulled out his wallet, gave Leo a $5 bill. "Go put this in his tip bucket." Leo's eyes went wide. He walked over, dropped the bill in, and the dancer stopped mid-move to fist bump him. Leo came back grinning. "He fist bumped me." "I saw. That was awesome." Maya caught Jonathan's eye and smiled. He felt that warmth in his chest again, spreading. The craft store was exactly as chaotic as Jonathan feared, and somehow worse. It was enormous, packed with people, every aisle bursting with supplies in colors that shouldn't exist in nature. "Okay, team," Maya said like a general addressing troops. "Mission: find everything we need to make this Christmas actually feel like Christmas. Rules: there are no rules. If you see something cool, grab it. Budget: unlimited apparently, because your dad's a billionaire." "Maya," Jonathan said, "what you are?" "That's not the point." "Then what is the point?" He opened his mouth, closed it. "I don't actually know." "Exactly. Now let's go make some memories and some messes." She grabbed a cart. Emma, you're in charge of ornaments. Leo, you're on lights. Jonathan, you're going to carry everything because you're the tallest. And I'm going to find the glitter aisle and probably get us banned from this store. Ready? Break. Emma took off like she'd been shot from a cannon. Leo followed more slowly but with purpose. Maya headed toward a sign that said seasonal. Jonathan stood there with the empty cart, surrounded by strangers buying googly eyes and pipe cleaners, and started laughing. You coming or what? Maya called back. He pushed the cart after her. The next hour was controlled chaos. Emma found clear glass ornaments they could paint themselves and insisted they needed 40. Leo discovered LED string lights that changed colors and could be programmed with an app. Maya found glitter in 12 different colors, construction paper in every shade, fake snow that was definitely going to get everywhere, and googly eyes in 4 different sizes. Why do we need googly eyes? Jonathan asked. Because everything's better with googly eyes. It's science. She threw 3 packs in the cart. They found pipe cleaners and pom-poms and felt sheets and markers and paint and stickers and a kit for making your own snow globes. The cart filled up. Maya grabbed a second cart. At one point, Jonathan found himself holding 2 different types of ribbon while Emma seriously debated their merits. This one's sparkly, she said, but this one's softer. Get both, he said. Really? Really? She hugged the ribbons to her chest like they were treasure. Maybe they were. Leo appeared with a Santa hat that played music when you pressed the pom-pom. He pressed it. Jingle bells blared out tinny and off-key. I need this, Leo said. Obviously, Jonathan agreed. Maya found them in the Christmas aisle. Having fun. Actually, yes, Jonathan admitted. Good, because we're not done. We need baking supplies. Baking supplies. For cookies, you can't have Christmas without cookies. Come on. They spent another 20 minutes in the baking aisle. Cookie cutters in every shape. Sprinkles in colors that definitely weren't natural. Food coloring, icing bags and tips. Emma wanted everything. Jonathan let her get it. The ride back was harder with all the bags. They had to stand, packed in with other passengers. Emma held onto Jonathan's coat. Leo clutched the musical Santa hat like someone might steal it. A woman next to them smiled at Emma. Someone's excited for Christmas. We're going to make decorations, Emma announced. And cookies, and our tree is going to be the best tree ever. Sounds magical, the woman said. It will be, Emma said with absolute certainty. Jonathan caught Maya watching him over the kids' heads. She raised her eyebrows like, see, this is good. He nodded slightly. Yeah, this is good. They got off at their stop, walked the 3 blocks to his building. The doorman, Marcus, stared at them. Mr. Reed, is everything all right? Jonathan was carrying at least 10 bags, his hair was messed up from the subway, and he was pretty sure he had a smudge of something on his jeans. Everything's perfect, Marcus. Could you help us with these bags? Of course, sir. In the elevator, Emma leaned against him, tired but happy. Leo examined his musical Santa hat like it held the secrets of the universe. Maya hummed that off-key tune again. What song is that? Jonathan asked. Oh, it's Feliz Navidad. My abuela used to sing it every Christmas. You're off-key. I know, she was too. It's tradition. The elevator doors opened to his floor. They walked into the penthouse, arms loaded with bags of chaos and color and mess. The beige tree stood in the corner, still pristine, still sad. Okay, Maya announced, dropping her bags. Operation Christmas Explosion starts now. Everyone change into clothes you don't care about, because this is going to get messy. I don't have clothes I don't care about, Jonathan said. Then today's the day you start. She grinned. Come on. Let's wreck this perfect penthouse and make it a home. By 2 in the afternoon, Jonathan's dining table was covered in newspaper and paint and glitter. So much glitter. It was everywhere, in the air, on the floor, somehow in his hair even though he hadn't touched it. Emma sat in a chair, carefully painting a clear ornament with red and green stripes. Her tongue stuck out in concentration. She had paint on her cheek, her hands, her shirt. Leo was at the other end of the table, designing a paper snowflake with geometric precision. He'd made 7 already, each one different, each one impressive. Maya sat across from Jonathan, hot-gluing googly eyes onto a pinecone she'd pulled from who knows where. What is that? Jonathan asked. A pinecone person, obviously. She glued on a tiny felt hat. His name is Gerald. Gerald? He's very distinguished. She set Gerald aside and picked up another pinecone. Your turn, make a friend for Gerald. I'm not making a pinecone person. You're making a pinecone person. Come on, live a little. He picked up the hot glue gun awkwardly. Maya put her hand over his, guiding it. Gentle, just a little dot, there. She handed him googly eyes. Now give him a personality. Jonathan glued the eyes on. The pinecone stared at him with derpy enthusiasm. He's perfect, Emma said, looking over. He looks silly. He looks like your father, Maya said. Hey, I meant it as a compliment. You both have that I'm trying my best energy. She was smiling, though, warm and genuine. Jonathan looked at his pinecone person, at Emma's ornaments, at Leo's snowflakes, at the mess covering every surface. Catherine would hate this, he said without thinking. The table went quiet. Sorry, he said quickly. I didn't mean. It's okay, Maya said, but just for the record. Catherine's not here, you are, they are, that's what matters. She thinks I'm a terrible father. Are you, right now in this moment? He looked at his kids, covered in paint and glitter and happiness. No, right now I'm doing okay. Then that's enough. Right now is all we have. She went back to her pinecone, adding a tiny scarf made from ribbon. Besides, terrible fathers don't spend their Saturday in craft stores and on subways. They just send money and call it love. Is that what your father did? My father left when I was 4. Sent a check twice a year until I was 18. Never called, never visited. So yeah, that's exactly what he did. She said it matter-of-factly, no self-pity. You're here, you're trying, you're covered in glitter. Trust me, you're doing fine. Emma held up her ornament. Done, look. It's beautiful, Jonathan said, and meant it. It wasn't perfect. The paint was uneven, there was glitter glued randomly on one side. It was the most beautiful ornament he'd ever seen. We should make more, Emma decided. Like 100 more. 100? Jonathan looked at Maya helplessly. You heard the girl, 100 ornaments, better get painting. So they painted, for hours. The mess grew exponentially. At some point, Maya put on Christmas music from her phone. At some point, Leo actually hummed along. At some point, Jonathan stopped caring that there was paint on his expensive hardwood floor and glitter in his expensive rug. Around 5, they took a break. Maya made grilled cheese sandwiches in his kitchen, the simple kind with butter and American cheese. They ate them on the floor because the table was covered in craft supplies. This is the best grilled cheese I've ever had, Emma said, mouth full. That's because we made it ourselves. Food tastes better when you make it with people you love. Maya took a bite of her own sandwich. That's another abuela rule. I like your abuela rules, Emma said. Me too, kid, me too. After dinner, they kept working. The pile of decorations grew. Painted ornaments and paper snowflakes and pipe cleaner candy canes and felt stockings with their names written on them in glitter glue. At 8, Emma's eyes started drooping. Bedtime, Jonathan suggested. No, we're not done. We can finish tomorrow, Maya said gently. Gerald and his friends will be here waiting. Promise. Promise. Jonathan carried Emma to her room. She was half asleep already, paint still on her hands. Daddy? She mumbled as he tucked her in. Yeah, sweetheart. Today was the best day. His throat tightened. Yeah, it was. Can we do it again tomorrow? We can do it every day if you want. She smiled, eyes closed, and was asleep within seconds, waffle tucked under her arm. When he came back out, Leo was showing Maya something on his phone. And if you do the combo this way, you get more damage, Leo was saying, animated in a way Jonathan hadn't seen in months. That's so smart, Maya said, genuinely interested. You're really good at this game. I'm okay. You're better than okay. Your strategies are solid. Do you ever play with friends? Leo's face fell a little. Not really. Dad's always working and Mom's with David and his kids now. They're little. They don't play the same games. Maya glanced at Jonathan. He felt the weight of everything he'd missed, every time he'd said he was too busy. Well, Maya said, tomorrow after we decorate the tree, maybe you can teach me to play. I'm really bad at video games, but I'm willing to learn. Really? Really? Deal. Deal? Leo stood, awkward for a moment, then mumbled, good night, and disappeared to his room. Maya and Jonathan were alone with the wreckage of the day. Thank you, he said quietly. For what? For this, all of it, I never would have. I wouldn't have known how to do this. They sat in comfortable silence, sipping wine. Christmas music still played softly from Maya's phone. Outside, the city glittered in the dark. Can I ask you something? Jonathan said. Sure. Why did you really take this job? On Christmas Eve, last minute, for some stressed-out CEO you'd never met. Maya turned her glass slowly, watching the wine catch the light. Honestly, the money. Student loans are brutal and teaching pays basically nothing. But also, she paused. I grew up with not much. Single mom, 3 jobs, tiny apartment. But Christmas? Mom always made it special. We'd make decorations from newspaper. We'd bake cookies with whatever ingredients we had. She'd save up all year to buy one nice present for me and my brother. She smiled at the memory. She made magic out of nothing. And I thought, this guy has everything and his kids are miserable. Maybe I could help. Maybe I could show him that money can't buy the stuff that actually matters. Mission accomplished. Yeah, she looked at him, really looked at him. Good, because your kids are amazing. They just needed someone to see them. So did I, apparently. Their eyes held for a moment too long. Maya looked away first, setting down her glass. I should go, long day tomorrow. We've got a tree to transform. Right, the tree. She grabbed her bag, headed for the door, turned back. Jonathan, for what it's worth. You're not a failure, you're just a guy who got lost for a while, but you're finding your way back, I can see it. She left before he could respond. Jonathan sat in his glitter-covered living room, surrounded by homemade decorations and evidence of the best day he'd had in years, and let himself believe she might be right. The next 3 days blurred together in the best possible way. Monday, they transformed the tree. Maya showed the kids how to string popcorn, which resulted in more popcorn eaten than strung, but nobody cared. They wrapped the beige branches in the colored lights Leo had picked out, programmed to fade between red, green, and blue. Emma hung every single ornament they'd painted, plus 20 more they made that morning. Leo carefully arranged his geometric snowflakes around the tree's base. The beige tree became a riot of color and chaos and imperfection. It was the most beautiful tree Jonathan had ever seen. Tuesday, they baked. Maya taught them her abuela's cookie recipe, and the kitchen became a war zone of flour and sugar. Emma insisted on making the cookies into weird shapes, so they had dinosaur cookies and blob cookies, and one cookie that might have been a horse or might have been a cloud. Nobody was sure. Leo discovered he was good at decorating, his steady hand creating intricate icing designs. Jonathan burned the first batch because he was answering an email and didn't hear the timer. Maya unplugged his phone and hid it in a drawer. No phones during cookie time, that's the rule. I'm expecting an important call about. Nope, cookies are more important. Make your priorities, Jonathan. He made his priorities. The second batch turned out perfect. Wednesday, Maya announced they were going to Central Park. It's 28 degrees outside, Jonathan protested, and it's winter. Winter is for being outside. Come on, I checked the weather. It might snow later. The kids need to see real snow, not just the fake stuff we're gluing everywhere. I have a meeting at 3. Cancel it. I can't just. Yes, you can. You're the CEO. That's the whole point of being the CEO. You can do whatever you want. So do what you want, Jonathan. What do you actually want to do today? He looked at Emma and Leo, already putting on their coats, faces bright with anticipation. I want to go to the park, he admitted. Then we're going to the park. Maya tossed him his coat. Put this on, we're building a snowman. Central Park was crowded despite the cold. Families everywhere, kids shrieking and playing, the smell of roasted chestnuts from a nearby cart. The trees were bare but beautiful, the paths lined with snow from last night's small storm. Jonathan wore his long black coat, the one he wore to board meetings. He looked ridiculous next to Maya in her puffy purple jacket and mismatched mittens, next to his kids in their bright winter coats. First, Maya announced, we need to find the perfect spot for our snowman. What makes a spot perfect? Leo asked. Good question. It needs enough space, good packing snow, and the right energy. You'll know it when you see it. They walked down the paths, Emma running ahead and sliding on icy patches, Leo throwing snowballs at trees to test the snow quality. Jonathan walked next to Maya, hands in his pockets. You're thinking about work, she said. It wasn't a question, the Tokyo deal. We'll still be there tomorrow. Right now, you're in Central Park with your kids. Be here, Jonathan, actually be here. I'm trying. Try harder. She bent down, scooped up a handful of snow, and threw it at him. It hit him square in the chest. Did you just throw a snowball at me? I did. What are you going to do about it? She was grinning, eyes bright with challenge. Jonathan looked at the snow on his expensive coat, at Maya's defiant smile, at his kids watching to see what he'd do. He bent down, made a snowball, and threw it back. It missed by 3 feet. Wow, Maya said. That was terrible. Do you need lessons? I'm out of practice. Clearly, okay, kids. Your dad needs training, get him. What followed was a 10-minute snowball fight that Jonathan absolutely lost. He was outnumbered and outmatched, and Emma had surprisingly good aim. By the end, he was covered in snow, breathing hard, laughing so much his stomach hurt. I surrender, he called out, hands up. Victory. Emma cheered, doing a little dance. Leo high-fived Maya. That was awesome. Your dad's not very athletic, huh? Maya teased. Hey, I run 5 miles every morning. On a treadmill doesn't count. That's not real exercise. Real exercise involves fun. She brushed snow off his shoulder, her touch light and quick. Come on, loser. Let's build that snowman. They found their spot, near the Bethesda fountain. Maya showed them how to pack the snow, how to roll it to make it bigger. Jonathan's first attempt fell apart immediately. Gentle but firm, Maya instructed. Like you're handling something precious, but you're not afraid of it. He tried again. This time it held. They worked together, the 4 of them, building a lumpy, lopsided snowman that leaned slightly to the left. Emma found rocks for the eyes. Leo used sticks for arms. Maya produced a carrot from her bag. You brought a carrot? Jonathan asked. Always be prepared, that's the Nanny motto. That's the Boy Scout motto. I stole it, they weren't using it. She stuck the carrot in the snowman's face. There, he's perfect. He's crooked, Leo pointed out. So, perfect is boring, crooked is character. Maya pulled out her phone. Okay, picture time, everyone get in. They gathered around their crooked snowman. Maya held her phone out for a selfie. They squeezed together, faces red from the cold, breath making clouds in the air. Say snow, Maya called. Snow, they yelled together. She took 3 pictures, then showed them. In the first, Emma was blinking. In the second, Leo was looking the wrong way. In the third, they were all laughing at something, caught mid-moment, genuine and real and happy. That one, Jonathan said, pointing to the third. That's the one. Yeah, Maya agreed softly. That's the one. They spent another hour in the park. They made snow angels, even though it meant lying in the cold, wet snow, and Jonathan's coat was definitely ruined. They explored the paths, found a frozen pond, watched a dog chase birds. Around 2, Emma started shivering. Hot chocolate time, Maya declared. I know a place nearby. Real New York hot chocolate, not fancy penthouse hot chocolate. What's the difference? Jonathan asked. You're about to find out. The place was a tiny cafe tucked between 2 buildings, barely big enough for 6 tables. It was warm and crowded and smelled like chocolate and cinnamon and wet wool from other people's coats. They squeezed into a corner table, Emma sitting on Jonathan's lap because there wasn't enough room. The hot chocolate came in huge mugs with whipped cream piled high and chocolate shavings on top. This is so good, Leo said, whipped cream on his upper lip. Better than mine. By the time they got back to the penthouse, it was almost 5. Emma woke up in the elevator, groggy and confused. Are we home? She mumbled. Yes, sweetheart, we're home. She looked around the lobby, at the marble and the chandelier and the doorman in his uniform. This doesn't feel like home. Jonathan's chest ached, but Maya said, wait until you see what we do next. We're going to make it feel like home, I promise. They spent the evening finishing decorations. Maya found red and green streamers and they hung them across the ceiling. They taped paper snowflakes to the windows. They arranged the painted ornaments that didn't fit on the tree around the penthouse, little spots of color and chaos everywhere. By 8, the place was transformed. It still had the floor-to-ceiling windows and the expensive furniture, but now it also had construction paper chains and glitter and googly-eyed pinecone people and Emma's crayon drawings stuck to the fridge with magnets. There, Maya said, surveying their work. Now it's a home. She was right. It finally felt like people lived here, like life happened here. After the kids went to bed, Maya started packing up her supplies. It was Christmas Eve tomorrow. Her job was almost done. Stay for a bit, Jonathan asked. One last drink to celebrate. 1 drink, then I really do need to go. They sat on the couch with wine, looking at the tree. The lights faded between colors, blue to green to red and back again. The decorations caught the light, sparkled. I can't believe that's the same tree, Jonathan said. It's not. It's a completely different tree. You just had to see it differently. Is that a metaphor? Everything's a metaphor if you're annoying enough about it. She smiled. But yeah, maybe. Sometimes things just need someone to see the potential in them, to see what they could be instead of what they are. Are we still talking about the tree? She looked at him over her wine glass. I don't know, are we? The air between them changed, charged with something unspoken. The lights from the tree played across her face, green then red then blue. Jonathan's phone buzzed in his pocket. He ignored it. You're learning, Maya said. I have a good teacher. The best. She stood, set down her glass. I should really go. Big day tomorrow, Christmas Eve, the finale of our holiday spectacular. What's the plan? It's a surprise, but wear comfortable clothes and prepare for more chaos. Maybe some singing. Singing? Did I not mention, we're caroling. In your building, it's going to be magnificent and terrible. My neighbors are going to hate us. Probably, but your kids will love it. She grabbed her coat, headed for the door. At the threshold, she turned back. Jonathan, you did good this week. Really good, your kids are so happy. Don't lose this. Whatever happens after I'm gone, don't go back to the way things were. Promise me. I promise. She studied his face like she was memorizing it, then nodded. Good. See you tomorrow morning, 9 sharp, bring your terrible singing voice. She left. Jonathan sat alone in his newly decorated penthouse, the lights from the tree painting the walls in shifting colors. His phone buzzed again. He pulled it out. 42 unread emails, 3 missed calls. The Tokyo deal needed attention. The board had questions. Everything required him to be somewhere else, someone else. He turned the phone off and just sat there, in his home that finally felt like a home, and smiled. Christmas Eve morning arrived bright and cold. Jonathan woke up without an alarm for the first time in years. He could hear voices in the kitchen, laughter. Maya must have let herself in. He got dressed and walked out to find chaos. Maya had brought supplies for gingerbread houses. The kitchen was covered in graham crackers, icing, candy, and 3 faces of intense concentration. Good morning, sleepyhead, Maya called. You're late. We started without you. It's 8:30. Exactly. Late. Come on, you're on Emma's team. She needs architectural support. Jonathan slid into a chair next to Emma. Her gingerbread house was ambitious, 3 stories with a crooked chimney. It keeps falling down, she said, frustrated. Let me see. He looked at the structure, the way she'd tried to attach the pieces. You need more icing. Think of it like glue, more is better. Really? Really? They worked together, slathering icing on the edges, holding pieces in place until they stuck. The house came together slowly, wonky but standing. We did it, Emma cheered. Leo's house was a minimalist masterpiece, clean lines and precise candy placement. Maya's looked like a house that had survived an earthquake, walls at odd angles, candy everywhere in a riot of color. Mine's ugly, Maya said proudly. It's perfect, Jonathan said, and meant it. They spent the morning decorating gingerbread houses and making a mess. Around 11, Maya clapped her hands. Okay, caroling time. Everyone get dressed in your Christmas best. We're really doing this? Leo asked. We're absolutely doing this. I made songbooks. She pulled out homemade booklets, construction paper covers with the words written in marker. Greatest hits only. Jingle bells, deck the halls, we wish you a Merry Christmas. All the classics. 20 minutes later, they stood in the hallway of Jonathan's floor, sheet music in hand. Jonathan wore a sweater with a reindeer on it that Maya had made him buy. He looked ridiculous, he didn't care. Ready? Maya asked. No, Jonathan said. Perfect, that's the spirit. She rang the first doorbell. The door opened. Mrs. Patterson from 4502, elderly, lived alone. Her face was surprised, then delighted. Oh my. Maya started singing Deck the Halls at full volume and completely off-key. Emma and Leo joined in, tentative at first then louder. Jonathan mumbled along, feeling absurd. Mrs. Patterson's eyes filled with tears. That was beautiful. Thank you, Merry Christmas. They did the next apartment, then the next. Some people were annoyed, some people loved it, some people joined in. By the 5th door, Leo was singing loud and proud. By the 7th, Emma was dancing. They made it through the entire floor, then took the elevator down and did the next floor. Word spread. People opened their doors before they got there. Someone brought out cookies. Someone else brought cider. Jonathan found himself singing Jingle Bells in a hallway full of neighbors he'd never spoken to, his kids laughing, Maya directing them like a conductor, and he felt something crack open in his chest. This was living. They finished their last song around 2 in the afternoon, everyone's voices hoarse, everyone grinning. That was the best, Emma said. Can we do it again next year? Leo asked. Next year, like this was a tradition now, like they'd do this again. Absolutely, Jonathan said. They went back upstairs, collapsed on the couch, exhausted and happy. Maya made hot chocolate one last time. They drank it slowly, the four of them lined up on the couch, looking at their tree. I don't want a day to end, Emma said quietly. It doesn't have to, Maya said. Tomorrow's Christmas, that's even better. Will you be here tomorrow? Leo asked. Maya hesitated. I wasn't planning on it. I figured you'd want Christmas just for family. You are family, Emma said simply. The words hung in the air. Maya's eyes went bright like she might cry. She looked at Jonathan. If it's okay with your dad, she said carefully. Three faces turned to look at him, waiting. Of course it's okay, Jonathan said. Please, stay for Christmas. I'd like that. Maya smiled, soft and real. Okay, I'll be here. That evening, after dinner, after the kids had picked out their favorite cookies to leave for Santa, after Emma had written a note with backward letters, and Leo had insisted they leave water for the reindeer, after everything settled into quiet, Jonathan found Maya by the tree. She was adjusting an ornament, one of Emma's painted ones that had started to slide, but neither of them moved away. I feel like a failure, he heard himself say. The words came out before he could stop them. As a father, as a person, Catherine was right. I don't know how to do any of this. Before you came, I didn't even know my own daughter's favorite color. What kind of father doesn't know that? The kind who got lost, but you're finding your way back. Because of you, this whole week, everything that was good, that was all you. No, she put her hand on his chest, right over his heart. He could feel the warmth of her palm through his sweater. It was you. I just reminded you who you were, who you could be, but you did the work, you showed up, you tried. You loved them even when you didn't know how. That's everything. I don't want to go back, to the way things were, to that silence. Then don't. What if I can't do it without you? You can, you will. Because you're not the same person you were a week ago. None of you are. She smiled, sad and sweet. That's what Christmas magic is, Jonathan. It's not the decorations or the cookies or the carols. It's the transformation. It's becoming who you were always supposed to be. They stood there, her hand still on his chest, his hand finding hers without thinking. The moment stretched, fragile and perfect. I should go, she whispered. Big day tomorrow. Stay, just for a few more minutes. So they sat on the floor by the tree, shoulders touching, not talking, just being. The lights faded through their cycle. Blue, green, red, blue again. Outside, snow started to fall. Fat flakes that caught the light from the windows, drifting down on the city. It's snowing, Maya said. Yeah. Make a wish. What should I wish for? Whatever you want most. Jonathan closed his eyes. He didn't wish for the Tokyo deal, or the board's approval, or the stock price to rise. He wished for more moments like this, for more laughter in his home, for his kids to keep looking at him the way they'd looked at him today, for this feeling, this warmth, this rightness to last. When he opened his eyes, Maya was watching him. Good wish, she asked. The best. She stood, offered him her hand, pulled him up. They were close again, face to face, the tree behind them throwing colored light across the room. Merry Christmas, Jonathan, she said softly. Merry Christmas, Maya. She left. Jonathan stood by the tree for a long time, looking at the star they'd made, at the ornaments his kids had painted, at the paper chains, and the glitter and the beautiful mess they'd created together. His phone was still off. The emails could wait. The deals could wait. Everything could wait. Right now, he had everything he needed. He walked to the windows, looked out at the snow falling on New York, at the millions of lights below, at the city that never slept. Somewhere out there, Maya was heading home. Somewhere out there, his kids were sleeping, dreaming of Christmas morning. Somewhere out there, the world kept spinning. But in this moment, in this home that finally felt like a home, Jonathan Reed was exactly where he was supposed to be. He smiled at his reflection in the window, at the man looking back. Different. Better. Real. Tomorrow was Christmas. Tomorrow would bring whatever it would bring, but tonight he was enough.